Today, we are tackling a big one, that single number that has a massive impact on your financial life, your credit score.
I mean, think about it. For so many of us, this is the reality, right? This one number can be the deciding factor in whether you get a loan, a new apartment, a credit card, sometimes even a job. The stakes are really high and it can all feel so confusing. But today, we're going to pull back the curtain.
And honestly, that's the perfect way to look at it. It's got nothing to do with how much you're worth as a person or even how much cash you have in the bank. It's just a quick way for lenders to ask, if I lend this person money, what are the odds I'll get it back? It's your financial track record, all boiled down to a reputation on paper. Okay, so let's get into it. What exactly is this financial reputation score, and who are the major players behind the scenes running the whole system?
So at its most basic, we're talking about a 3-digit number, usually somewhere between 300 and 850. The higher that number, the less of a risk you look like to lenders. And yeah, there are a couple of different scoring models out there, but FICO is the big one. It's the one that a whopping 90% of top lenders are using to make their decisions.
So you've basically got two main groups running the show here. On one side, you have the scoring models, like FICO and VantageScore. They're the ones who create the secret recipe, the formula that calculates the score. On the other side are the credit bureaus, Experian, TransUnion, and Equifax. They're the ones collecting all your financial data. The models use the data from the bureaus, and because each bureau might have slightly different info on you, your score can actually vary a little between them.
All right, this is where we get to the good stuff, the secret sauce, if you will. If you want to understand your score, you have to know the 5 key ingredients that go into the recipe. Let's break them down.
Now look at this. It's super important to realize that not all these factors are created equal, not even close. I mean, just 2 of these guys, your payment history and the amounts you owe, make up a massive 65% of your entire score. They are the absolute heavy hitters. The other 3 matter, but these 2 run the show. This one is pretty straightforward, but it is the single biggest piece of the puzzle. It all boils down to one question. Do you pay your bills on time? Some people even say you should stop calling it credit history and start calling it what it is, your debt history. It's all about how you've handled debt in the past. So, just how big of a deal is paying on time? Well, let me show you something that might just blow your mind. The impact of one tiny slip-up is huge. Okay, just look at these numbers. One single payment reported just 30 days late can absolutely tank your score. If you've got a great score, say around 750, you could see it drop by 80 points or even more just from one mistake. That's why paying every bill on time, every time, is the #1 rule of the game, period. All right, on to the second biggest piece of the pie, amounts owed. Now, this isn't just about the total dollar amount of your debt. It's really about how much of your available credit you're using. This is what we call your credit utilization ratio. So for example, if you have a credit card with a $10,000 limit and you have a $5,000 balance, your utilization is 50%.
So what's the magic number you need to remember? 30%. Basically, lenders start to get a little antsy when they see you're using up too much of your credit line. It can look like you're overextended. So the general rule is to keep your utilization below 30%. But listen, if you're aiming for the top tier, really exceptional scores, the pros often keep their utilization below 10%. The lower you can get it, the better. Okay, let's breeze through the last 3 factors. They're smaller, but they definitely still matter. First, length of history. Pretty simple. The longer you've been responsibly managing credit, the better. Then there's credit mix. Lenders like to see that you can juggle different kinds of debt, like credit cards, maybe a car loan, and finally, new credit. This is all about how often you're asking for more credit. If you apply for a bunch of new cards or loans in a short time, those are called hard inquiries, and it can look like a red flag, temporarily dinging your score. Okay, so we've learned the rules of the game. Now, how do you win? Let's talk strategy. The classic, tried and true strategy works for a reason. It hits all the big ticket items we just talked about. Number 1, pay every bill on time. That takes care of that giant 35% for payment history. Number 2, keep your card balances low. That handles the 30% for amounts owed. And number 3, keep your old accounts open. Closing an old card can actually shorten your credit history, and that's worth another 15% of your score. But here's the classic catch-22, right? The whole system feels like it's built to reward people for getting into debt and managing it well. So what are you supposed to do if you're trying to avoid debt? Or what if you're just starting out and have no history at all? Well, the good news is there are now some really cool modern ways to build credit that don't involve taking out a traditional loan. This is a real game changer. You can now actually get credit for the bills you're already paying every month. So you've got services that can report your rent payments. Others, like Experian Boost, can actually connect to your bank account and give you credit for paying your utilities bills and even your Netflix subscription on time. There are even special credit builder services designed from the ground up to add positive payments to your report. This is huge for anyone trying to build credit from scratch. Okay, we've covered the what and the how. To wrap this all up, let's zoom out a bit and talk about the why, and more importantly, what this number doesn't tell us. If you remember one thing from this entire explainer, let it be this. Your score is a tool. A powerful one, sure, but just a tool. It can open doors, it can save you a ton of money on interest, but it's not the end goal. The real goal is financial stability as a lifestyle. And here's the beautiful part. The very same habits that get you a great score are the exact same habits that build real, lasting financial health. And this really brings home what the score can't see. And this might shock you. Your credit report says nothing, absolutely nothing about your income, how much you have in savings, or what your investments look like. The bureaus have no idea. Which means, yeah, you could have an 800 credit score and be completely broke. And so that's the big question I want to leave you with. Is a credit score important? Absolutely. It's a powerful snapshot of your financial past. But is it the whole picture? Not by a long shot. The real story of your financial health is written in the choices you make every single day. Thanks for watching.